Alright, welcome race fans once again to MaxSpeedTV. You could call this the nightlife, as it is 10:30 p.m. Central Time, 11:30 Eastern. Not so late for some of you people in the Pacific, but awfully a little late here. But we are here nevertheless to bring you some more great racing on MaxSpeedTV. Tonight we are bringing you the Northwest Xfinity Series presented by Highway Equipment Company. So a big shout out to them. This is going to be another great race. We watched a fantastic race Thursday night with the trucks. Same drivers, same series, just a different car. This is one step up with the Xfinity cars versus the trucks. So we will see some great racing out of these as well. Before we get into maybe a possible few driver interviews and all of that good stuff, we do want to thank all of the sponsors that make all of this possible, starting with CimSpeedShop.com. They have some great button boxes and other great products. You can check them out at CimSpeedShop.com. HREMotorsports.com. Make sure you check them out on their Facebook page and on their website, and give them a like on that Facebook page, as well as Elite 7 Racing. Make sure you give them a big shout out. Check them out on Facebook. Let them know you heard about them on here on MaxSpeedTV. Virtual2reality.tv. They do give us codes to give away from time to time, so we'll tell you more about that after the race tonight or in the morning, whichever it happens to be. Dirtco Media House. If it wasn't for these guys, we would not be broadcasting to Facebook all the times that we do. So again, another big shout out to those guys for jumping on the board to do that. Alrighty, and last but not least, on the MaxSpeedTV side of things, Ohio IndyCar League. They are our newest partner here on the MaxSpeedTV. So if you are in the area, of course, of Ohio, you have to be in that club if you want to get into that race. So definitely check them out for some great IndyCar racing. On the side of the race, this series here, again, it's presented by Highway Equipment Company. One of their companies are Highway, so definitely check them out. Give them a big shout out for jumping on board here. And we do have a few drivers that we'll get to here in a little bit. John Ottenbacher, one of them, running the Highway onboard camera here. Sean is another one. I don't see him here yet. He'll be running that onboard camera for them as well. New Leader, another subdivision of their company. We will have some guys running their cameras here tonight as well. Mark Walls is going to be running that, as well as Jeff Stabnow. So we'll go on board with those guys throughout the night, interview them, talk to them, see how they're doing here running those. And of course, Sanctuary Studios. A big shout out to them for coming on board. They are actually the title sponsor of the truck series, and they are also on this series as well. So big shout out to them. And we'll go on with Josh Cushman, who will be running their onboard camera here tonight in this series. So all of that coming in. Again, we'll get with these guys here in a minute. If they're on the track, get a word in with them, and all that good jazz is coming up here in just a few minutes. Right now, again, we are here in practice for about another 15 and a half minutes. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on Facebook. We know it, or Facebook, on YouTube, sorry, it is late, but we are definitely excited to be here, as it's going to be some great racing. So thanks for tuning in. Definitely hit that thumbs up button if you like the racing here tonight. It is going to be exciting. 24 drivers here so far, and we'll definitely probably see at least 2 or 3 more trickle in throughout the night. Again, they've had about an hour and a half here to practice, so they've had plenty of time to get in here. These guys have got their setups dialed in right now, so I don't see too many cautions. We may have the big one. We didn't see too many big wrecks in the truck race, but these cars are a little bit faster. The aerodynamics are going to be a little bit different, so this is going to be just a little bit different than that one. So we will be looking to see that. It looks like right now we have Jeff Stabnow out on the track. So again, we'll give you a quick peek here as we'll go on board with him to the roll bar camera there. Again, you are on board with the new leader onboard cam, watching Jeff Stabnow. Again, we'll be on board with these guys as we talk to them throughout the race, see how they're doing in here, and definitely hoping they stay in the race and don't wreck out too early here tonight. We do not want to see that. We don't want to see any of these guys wreck out. Again, right now, that is Jeff Stabnow. As we look here, we'll swing over to Josh Cushman, running the number 95 Sanctuary Studios on board camera. So again, we'll go through all of these here in a little bit too, when we'll talk to these drivers. We might do that here. Well, why not? Let's go ahead and pull them up. So give us just a minute here. We're going to see if we can't get Jeff Stabnow here. So we'll see he is actually pulling on the pit road. So let's see if we can't get a word in with him as the winner of that last race. Jeff,
oh no,
got
not
a copy.
Spacer. You put me in Spacer.
Oh, I got you in here, Jeff. You're with me.
I got you. What's up?
Oh, well, we wanted to talk to you for a minute here. We riding on board with you there for a while. So you came out of these trucks from last week. You're the points leader in that race right now for that series. But these two cars, they're going to be a little bit different. We heard you talking about the differences between them earlier. So how much of a change is it between this car and that truck?
Well, I think this is what we're seeing here in practice. Most of us don't run this car regularly. We're truck guys. These are really, you got to be careful in the corners. It does not take much to turn somebody. Just the littlest bump in the corner. Whereas the truck, you can get away with it in the corner a little bit. So that seems to be the thing that's causing the most grief out here is accidental turnings in the corner. We're also carrying a little bit more speed. So green flag pit stops are a little bit of an adjustment if we have to make those.
Well, we're watching practice for the last few minutes before we went live, and we've seen a few people spin out, but we haven't seen a whole lot of big wrecks. We didn't see any in the trucks. We weren't here last season, so we know this is not y'all's first season. Y'all are seasoned veterans. So based on last season, do we expect to see any big ones here, or is it going to be pretty straightforward, some good, clean racing?
I think you take a bunch of guys out of trucks and you put them in cars that haven't, and we got a lot of guys that haven't raced with each other. So I would be surprised if we don't get a big one or two here.
Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing some good racing. Hopefully we don't see too many cars getting involved in that. I do believe I read that y'all have one fast repair here. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got one fast repair.
So,
and hopefully guys remember to uncheck that so they don't burn it the first time they pit on zero contacts.
Well, we did also read 65% fuel. So with 65% fuel, you're going to have to pit here. What is the biggest thing? Are you going to be wanting to pit for fuel, or is it going to be these tires? Or is it really neither? It's going to be pretty safe out there. Tires won't wear too much.
We're running these fix sets, and to be honest, I don't run them a lot, but we're not getting weird cambers and toes and things like that. So I would expect the tires to wear pretty good. I'm not thinking tires are going to be that big. I think it'll be more about the fuel.
All right, well, there you go. From Jeff Stabnow running the new leader onboard cam tonight. We'll get a word in with the rest of these guys, too, throughout the night. But it's going to be a fuel thing. Tires not too big of an issue. But again, we're going to step away just for a minute, and we'll be right back in just about a minute to 30 seconds here, and we'll see if we can't pull another driver into the booth with us. So stand by, and we'll be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here, as promised, as always, in the booth. Now with us is Josh Cushman. Again, you're running the Sanctuary Studios onboard camera here tonight. So first off, thanks for running that onboard camera here tonight. Any expectations coming into this race? We know we've seen you out there practicing for quite a while here, as it's about wrapping up, about 8.5 minutes left. But do you have high hopes? Any expectations coming into this race?
Yeah, man, I'm hoping to finish up front. There's a few unknowns, some new people I haven't run around yet, so I'm gonna try and fill them out early. And other than that, hoping to qualify up front and stay up front.
Well, that is definitely a good goal to have. You want to get up there, and we've seen with the trucks and you were racing in that series too. You can literally go all the way to the front, fall all the way back, and come back multiple times. We got 60 laps, so you have plenty of time to do so. So obviously you want to stay up front. If you do manage to get to the back a little bit, is there a secret strategy kind of to get back to the front without getting involved in any wrecks along the way?
It's just patience and have room and make sure that we, just try and stay clean. But there's also just a little bit of technique of seeing the air and seeing what line goes the fastest and who opens up what gaps and take them.
Well, that will be a key. Hopefully, we know we watch that in the trucks. You don't want to get left out to dry. If that happens, you basically fall like a rock to the back of the field. So anybody here that you have teammates that you know you're going to be trying to work with as best you can here tonight?
I don't particularly have any teammates, but I know that I can count on the Wicked Chastity guys anytime they're around me. And I know I can run with Andy and Ryan and Trenton. Just hoping that we can just kind of keep everything clean and not have that happen to us. But if it does, it's definitely not the end of the world.
Yeah, definitely got one fast repair, 60 laps. Like you said, a very long race. But you do have that fast repair. So we talked to Jeff about what his thoughts were on the tires versus fuel. So in your mind, which is going to be something more that you're going to be concerned about? Is it going to be the tires or having to pit for fuel here?
It's mainly going to be having to pit with gas. We're running this series with 65% fuel, so there's definitely going to be probably 2 pit stops.
Well, that will definitely be interesting to watch here. We'll see how pit strategy does play out. 2 tires, 4 tires, all of that good stuff. But we're going to let you go here as we've got about 6 minutes or so till qualifying. So we'll see where you stack up, and we'll try to get you in the booth here throughout the race and see what you have to say once this race gets started.
Appreciate it, man. Hope to put on a good show.
All right, again, we are going to step away here. We got about 5.5 minutes left before we get going. As you see everybody pulling to pit road there, going to make some pit stops, tweak these cars just a little bit as we still have the group out on the track. So give us 1 minute, and we'll try to get one more driver in here before qualifying does start. So we will be right back. Alright, we're back here. They are in a driver's meeting at the moment here. They are on the track, but they are doing that driver's meeting, so we don't want to pull anybody away from that driver's meeting at the moment. But we do want to know in chat tonight, do you have a favorite driver that you are wanting to get a win here? do you have, again, a favorite, maybe a family member, or something like that that you would like to see get the win, or just a friend that you're watching here tonight? And it looks like we do have one of our other commentators in chat with us here, saying, hey, I'm not sure if that is Rudy or if it is KR, but one of them is in chat with us, so thanks for tuning in tonight. Nightbot always here as well. So thanks to everybody for tuning in here tonight. Again, let us know, do you have a favorite driver here? 3.5 minutes left is all we have in practice here. And what a good race it's going to be. We have 28 drivers here signed up for the race tonight. And you can see right now, these guys are definitely good at practicing with each other. But come practice and race, it's two different scenarios. And qualifying is going to be different. It's not pack racing like you see in the NASCAR right now. It is lone qualifying. So that means these guys cannot work with each other, so you're going to see slower times. Right now they're running 46s. You're going to see 50s during qualifying. So it's really going to be who can run the smoothest line during qualifying. And indeed, Rudy is in chat with us, so Rudy, thanks for tuning in. I'm sure he is eating some ice cream right now. Running solo here tonight. I've never done a asphalt race solo, but we are here tonight. So definitely a big shout out to Rudy in chat with us here tonight. Tuning in from his, I'm sure his computer. Obviously, if he's watching this, could be on his phone. But regardless, doesn't matter. He's here. So thanks everybody for tuning in, including Rudy. As we see the 13 getting passed quite quickly there, as you see that is going to happen during this race. You have that group of cars right there as we see them getting together, the 8 and the 23 getting together. We'll take a look. That is Gary Nichols, and the 23, I believe that is Thomas Green in there. The 089 of John Ottenbarker getting into it as well. So a lot of cars taking damage there, but again, it's just practice right now. These guys are going to settle down once the race begins. The full name of the league, for anyone looking to get in, it is a Northwest League, so you have to be in the Northwest on iRacing, but it's the Northwest Racing League. So if you are a Northwest person, that is how to get in, so definitely check them out on iRacing. So, excuse me, losing our voice here tonight. Looking right there, you can't see him from that angle here, as we'll switch angles. He is on pit road. Let's go to there, we'll see him. Running the new leader, Walls Beard Co. Number 24, Jeff Stabnow, fastest in practice. Again, we talked about him. He just won the race in the truck series, and he's the fastest car right now. So we'll see how that stacks up in in qualifying once we get out of practice here in about 45 seconds or so. We got a long line. Well, there you go. Oh, they didn't hear you, but apparently KR had a long line at the bathroom, but he is here now. So, KR, welcome to the booth.
You know what? Just got done doing a long line in the bathroom, so bear with me as I get caught up on what's been going on.
Actually, not a whole lot here. We are just about to actually step away with the national anthem. Other than that, we are just about ready for qualifying, so there it is. So we're going to step away. We'll get KR caught up, and we'll be right back after the national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. Again, KR in the booth with us. Just finished up a rallycross race for 3 Wide Racing. So definitely he was going over. It is exciting doing that type of racing. So 2 exciting races in one night. Actually 3, as Rudy got done doing SRA Gen 6 earlier. So this is going to be interesting. We're watching Jeff Stabnow right now, as he is currently not set a time, so we'll see where he stacks up. He was the fastest in practice here.
Jeff Stabnow, last week's winner, my pick, but you know, I'm not sure I can pick him again tonight because we're not in the trucks. We are here in the Xfinity cars.
Yeah, and just put in an 18th fastest time of 50.933, so he's not quite as fast in this car as he was, but again, this is without drafting. But it looks like Case Hinkins, hopefully we get that right, is the fastest right now with a 50.078, 0.007 ahead of Matt Henry.
Corey Walters currently scored 3rd with a 50.110, and as I'm talking about it, Thomas Green slides in front of him, and as I'm talking about that, Mark Waltz puts it on the pole.
These guys are just not giving anything up right now. Everybody pushing it as hard as they can. And you see John Ottenbacher jumping up to 3rd with a 50.081. So a lot of 50.0s here, as there goes now Josh Cushman with a 50.051 to take pole here for the race.
Currently, quick time, Josh Cushman with a 50.050. Mark Walls 2nd. Case Hinkins 3rd. John Ottenbacher 4th. Andy Vogt 5th. So that's your top 5 in qualifying for right now. Matt Henry, Jeff Stabnow, not too far. You know, all these guys are almost everybody sitting in the 52nd lap bracket. We have 26 cars within a second of each other in qualifying.
Yeah, and I want to keep an eye on Mark Walls here tonight, as he's currently 2nd fastest. Again, this race is the Walls Beard Co. 150 at Daytona. So his company, his beard company, is sponsoring this. They do supply a lot of great beard products for men with beard, or not to leave anyone out. I guess you could be a woman with a beard, but regardless, if you have a beard, they can take care of all those products for you. So we'll be looking to see how he does here in these cars. Obviously, he's good at them. If he's willing to put his name on this, we'll see if he can possibly get to the front and get a win here tonight.
I identify as a donkey.
No, I don't know if I'd tell too many people that. They might that can go by another term, and I don't know if you want to be called that, but for now we will refer to you as the donkey.
Did I mess you up? Did I ruin your train of thought there?
No, I lost that a long time ago, but the Scott Mann, a brand new driver, we have not seen him. We didn't see him in the truck series. I got a nice looking there Nesquik paint job in the number 80. Back in 27th right now. as there are 30 drivers now. We had 29 in practice, so we got looks like Kane Lasky joined last minute, so another huge field.
We do. We got 28 cars turn lap times. 2 of them haven't done a lap yet, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. This is still going to be an exciting race.
Yeah, definitely. Still got about almost 3.5 minutes. As looks like Kane Lasky is going to put a time in here. Scott Hutchinson has not put a time in yet. That's the only one that has not touched the track to this point. But again, don't think Shane. Can't think of his last name right off head. But Shane, one of them that was driving the highway onboard camera in the trucks, he is not here tonight. So not sure. They said he would probably be here, good chance of it, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. So we don't have that, but we still have Mark Walls and Jeff Stabnow running the new leader onboard cameras here tonight. John Ottenbacher running the highway onboard camera, and Josh Cushman running the Sanctuary Studios onboard camera. So those are our drivers. We'll go on board with them here throughout the race. So hopefully we can keep them in the race here as long as possible. You've done a racing. We don't have Rudy here to let us in on how much what kind of racing is going to happen with these cars, but comparing to the trucks, they are faster. So I'm curious if we're going to have a big wreck earlier on in this race compared to the trucks, just being that they are that much faster.
It's Daytona. I wouldn't necessarily say that the speed of this car compared to the trucks is going to mean that the wreck will come sooner. I would say, though, that these cars are going to move around a little bit more. Drivers are going to be traveling a little bit faster. So strategy, again, is going to play a part. You're going to see some drivers drop into the back and just kind of hanging out there. If you feel you're a very fast driver and you didn't quite get everything you wanted to in qualifying, you might drop to the back just to hang out, log some laps, and wait for the big one to happen, and then check up and then start charging through the field. Once the caution comes out, everyone bunches back up, and away you go.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on the 91 of Scott Hutchinson. Again, he may be doing that very same thing. We saw some people do it in the trucks. I believe it was the 23 that didn't even take a lap. Applegate, he did not take a qualifying lap, started at the back, and we saw him work his way to the front. So yeah, we may see that again here tonight as well.
Yep, so currently only one car out on track, Kane Lasky. Everyone else has turned their laps and parked it. So Kane in the 32 machine currently scored 24th with a 52.60. Got some fire on his car, it looks like.
Yeah, he has got looks like got the flames and Kiss on the side of that car. So a big rock and roll fan there. As again, he's already completed all of his laps. He's just out there getting some seat time in that car, as qualifying is about ready to wrap up here in about 25 seconds.
Sure is, and Cushman sitting on pole with a 50.050. Like I said, we got now 29 drivers all within a second of each other. So that just lets you know we're at restrictor plate track here. 29 cars within 1 second for their qualifying time.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like that will be it. Checkers flags are waving. So next up will be the grid here for the race. So once we see a few of these guys get on a pit road here, we'll go through that HRE Motorsports starting lineup as everyone's starting to get there. And it should be a good race, I do expect anyway, as everyone is gridding up. Here we go. So they're getting ready to grid, so if you want to do the honors, you want to run through the HRE Motorsports starting grid for us.
I sure can. On pole with a quick time of a 50.050, Joshua Cushman. On his outside, Mark Walls. That's going to make up your front row. Row 2 is going to be Scott Mann and Case Hinkins. Row 3, John Ottenbacher and Andy Vogt. 7th and 8th place, Matt Henry and Jeff Stabnow. Thomas Green and David Heath make up 9th and 10th. Row 6, Corey Walters and Carl Burke. Row 7, Brian Barnes and Gary Nichols. Mike Peterson, and Brandon Peters. Wow, what a transposition I did there. 15th and 16th, Chris White and David Applegate, 17th and 18th. Row 10, Trenton Barrington and Dana Rogers. Row 11, Donald Swiffeld and Brad Cornell. 23rd and 24th spot are going to be Joseph Bissett and Kane Lasky. Trent Alley, 25th. Brad Carpenter, 26th. Kevin Geiger and Daniel Probovich, 27th and 28th, respectively. And rounding out this field, 29th and 30th, Frank Harris and Scott Hutchison.
And Scott Hutchinson not taking a qualifying lap, and he is actually not on the track, so he's not going to start the race. So I'm not sure, maybe he disconnected or had some connection issues. But regardless, he is not going to be racing us. So a 29-car field here with Josh Cushman on pole for this race. Again, this is the Northwest Xfinity Series presented by Highway Equipment Company. In particular, this race you are watching is the Walls Beard Co. 150 at Daytona. So we're getting ready here. We know you're just getting back from your high of some dirt track rally racing, but for the first time here, you want to give them the call as we're getting ready for the pace car to dive off here in just a minute.
We sure are. Joshua Cushman leading this field. Pace cars pulling in. Green flag in the air. Everyone getting on the throttle. Accordion effect with the 089 of John Ottenbacher. Looks like everyone's going to straighten out here. But man, that was a close minute. Having to check up the 19 machine of Matt Henry's in the 19.
Yeah, and we watched it with the trucks. These are not like the dirt cars here. They get off very slow, but once they get going and get up to speed in a lap or two, these things will be flying as they're only doing 178 right now, 180. They are creeping up. They'll be upwards of 200 miles an hour by the time they get to full speed, and it could spell disaster if these cars get together. Hopefully that does not happen. As you look, Mark Walls is out front here in the number 29 machine.
Mark Walls currently out front, running that bottom line, able to get in front of Cushman. We got the two rows here, two distinct lines, one high, one low. And as this high line starts to work in and get bunched up, formed up, be watching this high line to start challenging the people on the bottom and able to maybe send that 21 car into the lead.
Yeah, definitely. As we're watching again that 21 of Case Hinkins, again, hopefully we get that right. Scott Mann back behind him a little ways. Actually, right beside him, the 10 is behind him. That is Andy Vogt. So Andy Vogt's going to be trying to push him. And see the 19 getting in there, Matt Henry. Those three need to get a little bit closer if they want to make a run, because they just don't have the strength. You need about 6 cars out there. They do have the amount of cars they need. They're just not quite close enough at the moment here. And it's like you were talking about in the trucks the other night. You see them, they're snaking back and forth. They're not staying in a straight line as well as the bottom line is, and they're going to have to get bumper to bumper and get as close as they can there if they want to make a run, as it looks like the top 4 are trying to do so right now.
Yep, we got the top, well, how many rows deep is that? Man,
About 4 or 5 deep.
4 or 5 deep there, maybe 6 or 7 before it's all said and done. These guys in this front pack formed up nicely. But if you want to take a look at David Applegate, he is running all by himself. He has lost the draft. and has nobody behind him to push as well.
Yeah, and there's the 13 down there as well. And now that you mentioned those, we're looking down here, 28th and 29th place, Brad Carpenter and Donald Swafield. Hopefully you get that right. Swafield. Apologize if we don't get that right. But they've already made pit stops here for 16 seconds. Brad Carpenter just went through pit road, didn't stop, but Donald Swafield did actually make a pit stop. So interesting that we've already had people there, and they got a lot of damage. Surprising there was no caution that came out because of whatever happened there.
Yeah, Brad Carpenter definitely having a lot of damage to that 13 machine and pulling it into pit road here.
And there's a lot of cars. If you look back here, Kevin Geiger, hopefully we are getting these right. We'll have to clarify the best we can. Trent Alley back there in the 85. Mike Peterson. These guys, they have fallen off. Daniel Porovich. All these guys kind of by themselves right now, away from that top group that has really got a huge lead on them by about 17 seconds.
As I'm looking at the 30 of Kevin Geiger, I see some damage to his right front already here early on. That's not something you want to have here at Daytona, as that will affect your airflow. And then as I'm looking around, the 14 has rear deck lid damage as well in this little 4-car group. Now 3 cars, Kevin Geiger gets passed up by Mike Peterson, Daniel Probovich, and Trent Alley.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, if you look right ahead of them, you see another group of cars. So we might see if they get up there. Again, that's the 96 of Joseph Bissett, Chris White, and Kane back there. So they want to catch up with this group. If they can group up, even with a little bit of damage, 6 cars is way more powerful than 3 here at Daytona. So if they can get together and work together, they can possibly catch up to that group. But with that group up there with about 20 to 25 or so cars, it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, we got all these cars here all have damage, and the yellow is out.
Not sure who it's for. Let's take a look, as it looks like it's going to be the 13 of Brad Carpenter.
Looks like Brad Carpenter gets into it with possibly David Applegate and the 97 machine of Donald Swafield. Collecting Donald Swafield, Applegate able to get around cleanly.
And I am not sure here, for some odd reason or another, our replay is not working here. Again, we did have an update with our software. So again, replay button is not working, so we do apologize. But again, the 13 going around there as you described, so we'll have to take your word for it as to what happened there. I'm not sure why the instant replay camera is not working here tonight.
Yep, Brad Carpenter running down low, collected Donald Swafield, who him and David Applegate were trying to get by Brad Carpenter, but unfortunate, Swafield not able to get around him, and Carpenter and Swafield went around.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but again, it does happen from time to time, so we'll just have to keep an eye, see if they can get their fast repairs and possibly make something happen later in this race, as we'll keep an eye to see if anybody comes down. We've only run 7 laps. We're on lap 8 right now, and we'll see here if the 29 does pit there. I'd figure that might be coming. He's going to fake it. He is not going to go to pit road. Trying to fake out the rest of these guys. So Mark Walls faking out the rest of the field here, not going to take a pit stop.
Now, I personally have never fallen victim to that. Does anyone really think that works? Or is it just something to do because they're bored?
Some people will fall victim to it. 8 laps into a race, I don't see anyone falling victim to it. When you get a race where you've had 20, 30 laps on the tires or more, it tends to work if you can pull it off. But again, with just this few laps, it's probably not going to work out too well, as nobody came in. So we'll see if anybody did. It looks like from about 20th on, people are making pit stops. So we'll see if those fresh tires mean anything for those guys towards the back of this field.
A lot of these guys making pit stops, taking fast repair. One of the things I didn't get a chance to mention is these cars that were in the back of the pack all had damage. So something happened that we missed. We weren't able to see. No caution came out, but a lot of cars got damaged for one reason or another.
Yeah, again, I wish we would have seen it, but like I said, no caution. We don't want to steer away from the front of this field where all the racing action is going on. So it is unfortunate that that happened. And if we can get a word in, we'll see if we have anyone. Lights are still on. If they stay on this time by, we'll see if we can maybe pull somebody in here and get a word in with them. Maybe we can see what happened back there. But right now I do see the lights on, and they may stay on. We're going to keep a very close eye on that here and see if they go out. They indeed are not going out, so we got a second here. See if we want to pull somebody in here. Do you know who somebody was involved? We'll definitely pull them in here.
There were lots of cars with damage, and you know, I'm trying to find them here in TeamSpeak, but not a whole lot going on in TeamSpeak right now.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't see any of those guys in here. So we'll see if we find anyone here. Let's see, we do see the 35 of Chris White. Was he back there? He does have some damage. So we'll see if we can find him and pull him into the booth real fast. There he is. Chris White, you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we see you got a little bit of damage there. We're trying to figure out what happened earlier on here. During this, did you get caught and get some damage there earlier? Because we saw a bunch of cars with damage, but no caution came out.
Yeah, you know, it was right at the start. Green flag came out, went to go, cars checked up, and I got ran into in the back. I think I got some pretty hefty rear end damage.
Yeah, definitely the back end of that car looks pretty messed up. Hopefully you can get it repaired throughout the race and get back to the front, as we see it back in 23rd right now. You are on the lead lap, so that is always a bonus here. So any plans or strategy to get yourself back up to the front here with that little damage?
Well, I definitely want to get back to the front. I think for now I just got to play it safe, be patient, try to save that fast repair as long as I can, at least get past halfway.
All right, well, I'm sure y'all are going to be getting the one to go this time by, or we should anyway. So we're going to get you back up there, and we'll see you, hopefully with any luck, we'll get you in the booth here again later on tonight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when cars don't get going and you get caught up with that. It just happens. It's part of Daytona. We'll see what happens here.
All right. All right, again, that was Chris White in the number 35 machine right now. So we'll definitely check back in with him little on later tonight, as he is back in shown being 23rd right now, but back up to the front. Your race leader right now is Mark Walls, as I do believe the lights are off this time, so we should get the green flag.
Green flag going to fly. Mark Walls in control of the field. On his outside is Case Hinkins in the 21 machine. Hinkins been dedicated to that outside since the opening lap and just hasn't been able to get the momentum, but Mark Walls doing a great job leading this bottom lane.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll be keeping a close eye, because like I said, we've already seen some tangling up going on, and no caution came out, so we're going to keep a close eye on the fields here and see how it all plays out. As right now, they are just about ready. There goes the pace car once again. The green flag is out. We're racing once again. This is our Again, only one caution for 4 laps, still 50 laps to go, so now 49 laps to go. So already racking up a few laps here, so we'll see if this one can go green just a little bit longer. If it does, those tires will start to wear, and it could get very scary out there. It looks like your top 17 drivers currently have 12 laps on their tires. Everybody else, about 3.
Yeah, a couple cars pitting, some cars not. I think it's way too early to have any sort of tire wear making an effect, but you never know. This could go into a long green flag run, and setups are going to start playing a role in that.
Yeah, and definitely what you got to keep in mind with these guys is those front guys up there, they have about 8 or 9 of those laps under racing. Those 3 on those other tires that are fresher are all caution laps. So they're going slow, they're cool. These others have heat in them, and so they're going to be a little bit worn, but like I said, 8 to 12 laps, not going to play that big of a factor right now. As you see them already almost going 3 wide there, back with the, I believe, number 90 of David Heath. Scott Mann, David Heath in the 42.
I'm sitting here watching the back of the pack. Trent Alley trying to form up with the 0-2 of Trenton Barrington. Got the 77 on his outside. These guys rolling through the corners here. A little bit of helter-skelter in the back of this pack, and these guys are in danger of losing the front pack and the draft, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely they don't want to do that. We've been talking about it in the trucks, and you can see right there, it looks like the 0-2, if we go up just a few spots. Correctly, that's the 35, Christopher White, and you got all the way to the 27 of Brandon Peters. Right there is a huge gap. So Brandon Peters leading what you would call the second pack right now. So he has got to get it together. He's got to kind of talk to these guys behind him, get them lined up, and if they can do that, they might be able to catch back up to that pack. But if they're disorganized like they are right now, all over the place, as you see them 2 and 3 wide, just kind of scattered all over the place, they're not going to be able to catch to the rest of that field.
The 4 of Daniel Provovich and the 35 of Christopher White, these guys are leading this second pack of 4 cars. But, Chris White's got damage. Looks like the 27 of Brandon Peters has damage as well. And the 77 of Frank Harris is currently scored 1 lap down. He's the first car 1 lap down. But, aerodynamic damage definitely hurts you here. You don't want to have major damage like we're seeing Chris White. It affects your car, it affects your speed, and it doesn't allow you to be a pusher. So Chris White, if he ever has to go for fresh air, he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely, and that's not what you want, as that car definitely has major damage. The 4 in front of him looks like he's up front, and that is, again, Daniel Porovich. He is out front. He's leading right now, and he has a clean car, but with those cars damaged behind him, it's not going to be a whole lot that he can do as far as getting to the front. He's kind of stuck back here, unfortunately, with these damaged cars. And meanwhile, the front of this field's getting away. As you take a look here, all the way back, just the next car up from Daniel, the 17th place car, has a 3.999 second gap, now 4.083 over 18th place. So there's a huge gap already forming between 17th and 18th, and they're pulling away with every lap.
This lead pack, everyone looking nice and steady through the corner, down the backstretch they go. But they're only in 2 lanes. Everyone just seems to be kind of working together. No one's really jostling around trying to fight for position. The only thing I see is that outside lane going into 3 and 4. They're snaking around a little bit. It's a little difficult to run that outside lane. You want to leave some room for the guys on the bottom, but you also want to try and stay as low as you can. As one in the 19 machine goes from the bottom to the top side, thinks he's going to get a good run here.
Yeah, definitely. He is doing that, as you see him sitting in second position right now. That is Matt Henry. So he's going to try to give Mark Walls a run for his money. And again, Mark Walls has led all 17 laps so far, so nobody's been ahead of him at the line where it matters the most. So this could get quite interesting to see if that line, they look like they're trying to form together. Top 3 anyway on that outside line, they're pretty good, but behind them you get to the 90 in the 089. The 089 really not much of his fault, but he's trying to stay behind that 90 of Scott Mann, and he's just unable to do it. He's trying to stay in his draft to keep with him, but he is. You see him, he'll slide up and slide back down, so it's making it very hard as it looks like they're going to maybe settle it out now.
Brad Carpenter, who we talked about a little bit earlier, getting into some trouble. He's pulled the car off of pit road once again, and slowly working that car up to speed now.
Yeah, he is again. Unfortunately, 4 laps down at the moment. So that is unfortunate that he is that many laps down. But we'll see. We may have cautions. He could possibly get those laps back by being in front of the leader or not pitting. So we'll keep an eye on that. As right up front, there it is, just while we stepped away for a minute, Andy Vogt takes the lead, and he will lead his first lap here in this series at Daytona. Again, for anyone just tuning in with us, you are watching the Walls of Beard Co. 150 at Daytona, and it's not disappointing so far. There's a lot of passing going on, as now the number 90 of Scott Mann's going to try to take a stab at getting the lead here in the next couple of laps.
How quickly your fortunes can change here in a draft track, a plate race at Daytona. Mark Walls was leading this thing. Now he's currently scored 6th and looking to lose some more spots.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, as he may, and it looks like those top probably about 8 drivers have kind of pulled away here. 7 drivers actually have kind of pulled away. As you said, Mark Walls back to 8th place right now, but he has help. He does have teammates, Jeff Stabnow and good friend there, Josh Cushman. You get those 3 together, we have seen them practice over and over again. They very well could work together, and if they do, I would look to see all 3 of them up at the front of this race here within the next 10 laps.
These guys here in the second pack of the lead group starting to reel in the front runners here. The 95 machine of Joshua Cushman, our pole sitter, not really able to lead a lot of laps from the pole, but he's not giving up. He's in the hunt for the lead still.
Yeah, it started on pole, but very quickly the car 2 is outside, and just behind him, again, Mark Walls led the most laps so far, but like you said, was unfortunately Cushman was not able to lead as many laps as he would like. He hasn't led any yet, actually, to be exact. But again, this is Daytona. We have plenty of time to lead laps, as he's still got a lot of help coming from the 42, the 53, and the 5. Again, that being David Heath, Carl Burke, and the 5 of Brad Carell. So he's got company coming. As look right there, they have already caught up to the back of that front group.
They have, just like that, the group goes from 7 lead cars to a lot more than that.
Yeah, just about, actually over doubled it, so about 16 cars now, even 17, actually 18 getting in there as well. As we look back, seeing who that is back there, the 7 of Dana Rogers getting in here. So a lot of great cars up here. Again, taking a look here, if you look from 17th right now, Dana Rogers in the number 7, to 18th place, Daniel Purovich. That is 2-car tandem right there. They are 12 seconds off the pace, so they have got to get a few more cars together, or they will be going multiple laps down here very quickly.
These guys doing all they can. Someone I'm impressed with, though, right now is David Applegate. He took full advantage of that caution. He was struggling in our first group that was in the back. Or I shouldn't say first group. He was struggling in the first section of this race before that caution came out. He was in the back. Now here he is sitting 7th.
Yeah, definitely. And while we got a good group of cars here for just a minute, let's jump over to the 24 of Jeff Stab now, as he is right in the heat of things. Actually, we'll go to Mark Walls, as he's in the mix of things, and he is running the new leader on the board camera. So let's go on board with him for a few laps here and see what it's like to be in his shoes for just a little bit. Again, we can see him. We're watching him from the onboard, not moving his wheel a whole lot. Again, you don't want to make big movements. You want to make little subtle movements, be really smooth. If you make too many moves, that is what causes big wrecks here.
It sure is. As Kane Lasky gets into the wall a little bit, he's trying to hold the high side here as these lead cars go around him. A little contact with the wall, just trying to make that right side a little bit lighter by shaving off just that bit of metal.
Yeah, definitely. If you can make that car a little lighter, it'll be a little faster. You don't need all that sheet metal. It's just there for looks anyway. But they do get by him. And that second group is starting to kind of fizzle out again. They are still right there within about 2 car lengths, but still another gap is forming between those. So it's going to be interesting to see as we still look watching the 90 of Scott Mann. He is on that outside. He has Ottenbacher in the 089 on his out there with him on the outside lane. But there's only 3 of them versus about 7 or 8 beside them, so they just don't have the car count they need out there to make anything happen right now.
That outside lane in the front getting a good run here though. And the 90, is that the 99? 089.
Yeah, the 089 and Ottenbacher. Oh, contact! So far, no cautions out. Oh, and there goes multiple cars. Caution will become out. Let's go take a look. That was John Ottenbacher getting in there. So let's go back and take a look, see what happened.
Multiple cars in this.
And again, I'm not sure why our onboard camera, our replay camera is not working. So we do apologize. We are going to have to look into that and see why it is not working.
Just hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, we may have to hit it with a hammer. We do have some new things in the works, but that was not one of them. Our replay camera not working was not one of the things in the works. Again, we will get that issue sent in as quick as possible to get that fixed. So we do apologize for that, but that was a huge wreck involving a lot of drivers, a lot of good drivers as well. As we'll look, as you see the 29 of Mark Walls, heavy damage to that car, and it looks like he may be smoking. No, he's not. The car in front of him smoking. He's just getting a second-hand smoke there from the car in front of him. Let's take a look, see if we can see who it is. It's the 21 of Case Hinkins. That car is damaged and smoking extremely bad right now.
A lot of cars damaged. It's never good when the leaders are the ones that get crossed up because everybody comes charging in from behind them. And, unfortunately, these guys just had nowhere to go. The track closed up really quick. Things happened really fast here in that big pileup.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but it does happen. Is now, if we look to the front here, Scott Mann going to pit road. He is currently your leader. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see who all comes to pit road, as it looks like everybody's coming to pit road. Once we get this all sorted out, we'll see who all gets their fast repairs done. So they do have one fast repair, so just because that happened doesn't mean you're out of it. But if that happens again, these guys may be in trouble.
Scott Mann really lucky there. He had just cleared that outside lane and was starting to make a move down to the bottom, and I think that's what led to all of this is, transitioning from the high side down to the bottom.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like when we were live there. It's just coming down and just got the front end of another car was unable to do it, as it looks like maybe the 95 forgot to check his fast repair. So that could be unfortunate for him, as it looks like now Brad Cornell is going to be scored as the race leader. Well, never mind, there he is. He is going to pick back up the pace. He was waiting for the pace car to go by, but it's still showing him as the race leader. So the cars that stayed out were lap cars. So some of them will get their laps back, so this is going to be beneficial to them.
So as we sit here under yellow, this is our second caution. We had a good little run there for some green flag. We're seeing some strategy play out now. Lead cars taking pit stops, not taking pit stops because they've already been there. A couple cars have gone through some damage, gotten their fast repairs used up already, and a couple drivers still have that in their pocket. But John Ottenbacher and Jeff Stabnow were involved in that big pileup. Those two were guys that I was going to keep an eye on to see how they would shake out tonight's race, and it looks like they're in trouble early here, and we're only on lap 30, halfway.
Definitely not what they planned here for sure. As we'll see if we can't find Ottenbacher here. He is on the pit road. That is not where he wanted to be. But let's see if we can't find him, see if we can't get a word in with him real fast. Got him. Let's pull him down here with us to the booth. All right. Ottenbacher, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, first off, not where you want to be sitting right now, as we are on board with the highway onboard camera with you. How we see you've been on pit road for about 2.5 minutes. So how much damage do you have here, and have you already used your fast repair?
No, I haven't used it. I should have had it clicked, and I wanted to see how much damage I had, and I have way too much. So I had 8 minutes of required, so I can't get out of the pits and come back around and use that fast repair. So I'm going to have to wait here for a few minutes, another 5 minutes.
Well, that is, again, not where we wanted to see you, not where you wanted to be here tonight. But the good news is you still can probably gain a few spots. I'm sure we'll have at least one more wreck here. Hopefully not too many people getting involved, but big wreck up at the front. Did damage a lot of good cars here. So it's unfortunate, but it is part of racing. It does happen. So, like I said, just a product of the sport. But before we get you back to you working on your repairs here, any shout-out to sponsors you want to give for getting you here tonight for the race?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to Highway Equipment Company and their brand's new leader in highway equipment. It's a pleasure to drive the highway equipment car, and having a lot of fun out there. It was fun running up front there. Just wish we could have stayed out of Andy and kept going.
Well, definitely, hopefully we'll see you get back out there here in just a little bit. Anyway, with any luck, you can get those damage repaired quickly and get back out there. We're going to get you back to your room, so we'll hopefully see you later on tonight.
Sounds good, Charles. Have a good one.
All right, again, that was John Ottenbacher running the highway car here. Again, this race is presented by Highway Equipment Company. This is the Northwest Xfinity Series. Not where he wanted to be, sitting on pit road. But like we were just talking to him about with KR, it's a product of the sport. Sometimes it does happen.
It's a product of the sport, and for sure here at Daytona, it's very, very easy to get caught up in someone's little bit of mistake, little misjudgment of whether they were clear or not. And unfortunately, it started in about second and third spot, and it wiped out all these front runners.
Yeah, it really does stink for them, as it looks like the green flag is getting ready to go, as there it is. Green flag is out once again. And what a start the 90 got. Scott Mann, he took off. But again, this is plate racing at Daytona, so that doesn't mean anything. You can't take off. Everyone's just going to catch you very quickly. as we see David Applegate. He is still my pick for the win. He is currently running in second position right now.
He's running in second, doing a great job of tucking in behind Scott Mann. But on the outside now moves Scott Mann. Scott likes to run in that high side because he gave up the bottom. That's going to give the lead to David Applegate as they go 3 wide, second, third, and fourth spot with the 19 of Matt Henry on the outside. We got the yellow out again.
Not sure who it's for this time. We got several cars going around. It's going to be the 29 involved again. Mark Walls getting in it. And you said the other, so another unfortunate wreck here as we had several cars involved. Again, our replay camera is not working, so we do apologize for that. But Mark Walls once again involved in another caution. So that is not the way he expected his day to end here, as he is now out of the race.
See Joseph Bissett, Andy Vogt in trouble here. The 5 of Brad Cornell gets into the side of Joseph Bissett going into turn 3, hooks him in that left rear corner or right rear corner, making the car turn dead right, and then everyone just piles in behind him.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for that to happen, especially this early in the race. We're just over halfway, so we still take a look here at our cautions anyway. 3 cautions for only 9 laps. We have only had 9 laps under caution. It seems like a few more than that, really, because these caution laps are so long. But only 9 laps under caution, 28 to go, so we're over halfway done. We've had 6 lead changes already here in this race.
We have, and your leader is David Applegate, and that's your pick. I haven't made a pick tonight, so I'm going to wait till the white flag lap before I pick one.
Well, you can wait till I will even give you that. I don't know if it's going to matter too much, because even on the white flag, anything could happen then, so even then it doesn't necessarily mean that they are sure to win, so I will allow you to do that here tonight, and we'll see how it actually plays out.
2.5 miles here at Daytona, 46-second lap times in the draft, 47 seconds, somewhere around there. You know, and these guys, they do under caution. You got some time to kill. You got some conversations to have. So let's go ahead and have a conversation with our race leader.
All right, let's get him in here. David Applegate.
He wasn't. I see him. I found him. He moved on me.
David Applegate, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Charles. How you doing?
Oh, doing pretty good here. So KR's got a few questions for you.
All right, Mr. Applegate, you are Charles Wooten's pick to win this race tonight. I haven't made a pick tonight. So besides you winning this race, who do you see winning this thing?
Oh, besides me?
Besides you.
Wow, okay. 19 car right behind me has been fast in all the restricted plate tracks that I've seen so far. So if it's not me, I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Henry do it.
All right, well, great job leading this race. You're out front. You're seeing nothing but the pace car. It's got to feel good. How have you managed to keep your nose clean and wind up here?
My strategy, which I am still employing to this point, is to lay in the back as far as I can and just allow the line to push me wherever it wants to go. So since I am currently laying in the back, I have no idea how I managed to turn out P1, but that's where the draft took me.
Well, you're out front, looking good, leading these laps, and you know, hopefully you'll bring it home. Like I said, you're Charles's pick for tonight, and I appreciate the insight, Matt Henry. I have till the white flag to call somebody, so Matt Henry's on my list now.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
All right. Thank you. And if I can do any favors to Charles, I will see if I can keep Matt behind me.
That would definitely be good for me. Let's keep him behind you here, and let's bring home the win for you and Intel today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Charles.
Good luck out there, man. All right, that was David Applegate, our current race leader, and he's saying Matt Henry's the one that he's keeping an eye on.
Yeah, and he again sitting right beside him, or behind him now, but he will be beside him here in another lap or so. So we'll see how it stacks up. He's on your short list. Well, very short because he's the only one on the list right now. But I've still got my faith in the number 25 of David Applegate running that Intel paint job there. Again, I will root for him until he gets a win, and then I'll probably still root for him just for running that paint job. So we'll see if he can bring it home.
You know, my lists tend to be very short because when you write with a crown, it takes up a lot of room. Plus, they taste really good, and I run out of my writing utensil.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of your writing utensils. We are still under caution, which is quite amazing here. Looks like we should get the green flag next time by. Indeed, the lights are off. So next time by, we will get the green flag once again to start lap 37. So we're closing down very quickly here. In about 3-4 laps, we'll be at lap 40 with only 20 laps to go here in this race.
20 laps to go, starting to get into crunch time. So the intensity is going to start ramping up a little bit here. Drivers aren't really going to necessarily be so lenient about someone chopping them off or anything like that. So be looking for the snake effect to really start playing a part and maybe even break into 3-4 lanes here.
Yeah, I do expect to see some battling going on. Again, we're in crunch time, getting there anyway. With 20 laps to go, that means 2/3 of this race is over. So it's going to be crunch time coming very soon. And we were looking earlier, they get a fastest qualifying time gets a bonus point. If you lead a lap, you get a bonus point. So everyone wants to get up there and lead a lap. Obviously, whoever leads the most laps gets a bonus point. If you win, you get a bonus point. And here's the key one. If you complete 75% of the race, so 45 laps, and you run a clean race with 0 incidents, you get a bonus point. So there's a lot of drivers that ship has sailed. But right now, it looks like 17 laps is the most with Mark Walls.
David Applegate in control of the field. Pace car pulling off. Green flag in the air. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, once again. These cars getting through the gears here, heading off into turn 1.
Yeah, and once again, you see the leader getting a nice jump. But as always, that big jump doesn't do anything for you, as here comes the 90 of Scott Mann and the 8 of Gary Nichols going to get right back to his back bumper. So that's another one I think we need to keep on that short list. Is that number 90 in that Nesquik paint job? Again, Scott Mann, he's gotten to the front and somehow avoided all the wrecks that have happened. He avoided the one up front, and he stayed up here. Him and the 19 have both managed to stay clean up at the front of this race.
We sure having the front runners go 1 and 2 wide, and the 19 machine now of Matt Henry starting to charge on that outside lane, getting a good shove by the 28 machine of Corey Walters. These guys looking to make a move here now.
Yeah, definitely there, just hanging right there. Again, top 4 guys right now, like Thomas Green getting into the mix. Now, we haven't talked about him a whole lot tonight either, as well as Case Hinkins. We have not talked about him, but for a very brief moment. But you can't count anyone out, especially not in this top group right now, as they're 2 wide, about 5 deep.
They sure are. And speaking of not counting anyone out, Jeff Stabnow, who was in an earlier wreck, using his fast repair, now he's running again in this front pack, but he is mired deep in this front pack, trying to find a way around, work his way back to the front.
Yeah, we go on board with him for just a minute here. You can see again working that wheel with everything he can. He's on the bottom right now, so he doesn't have anybody on his inside, but he does have someone on his outside here. As we'll go around here, check around, see. As you can see right there, he's on the bottom line, as far to the bottom as he can get at some points. But right now, there he gets to the bottom. He is literally touching the yellow line. Everybody's so close together right now. And if you look behind him, or in front of him, excuse me, you see a lot more cars. He needs to get up to that back bumper of these guys. But again, he is doing a fantastic job of keeping up with this pack and getting that damage repaired.
Give you a quick update. Mark Walls, Brad Cornell, Andy Vogt, and Brad Carpenter all have packed up and headed home, along with Donald Swafield. Or wait, no, I apologize. Donald is still out there, but Donald mired several laps down, 8 to be exact.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He has lost the draft 8 laps down, and I do expect to see him go down a few more laps. Unfortunately, he just has nobody to work with right now. But give credit where credit is due here. He is definitely a fighter, and he is working his way, trying to get every point he can here tonight.
He is 8 laps down. You know, he's currently on his 32nd lap. So that's just halfway. He, as you said, 75%. So he's hoping to get some more laps in before this race ends.
Yeah, and definitely you want to see him get as many as he can. Again, it's all about points. This is a tough track for anybody. It's all about luck. I mean, you got to have skill, but it really is about luck. You want to get up there and be towards the front at the end, but that doesn't necessarily mean you need to be there right now. As any given lap, you could see a major wreck here. And now Matt Henry is out front, and he will lead 5 laps now. But I'm not sure anybody's done, because here comes Applegate and the 90 trying to get in there, as well as Corey Walters. You talked about him in the 28. He's making his presence known up here in the top 5 right now.
Corey Walters in the top 5, second car in that outside lane, giving a good shove to David Applegate. These guys want to get around the 19 and 90. They want to clear them. They want to lead some more laps. Scott Mann in the 90 machine, he was a front runner here for a little bit. Just wants to lead some more laps, but I'll tell you what, that Matt Henry car looking very strong. David Applegate told us to watch out for him.
Yeah, he is definitely, and at the line, I'm not sure, that may have been Applegate that led it, as he has now led 6 laps, but so has Henry. They're side by side, and here comes the lap car, the 97. He's going to hang it to the high side. Again, Donald Swafield, he's going to get past there. So what was that, 2 laps that he went down? So he's going to go down a lap down just about every 2 laps. So that is not where he wants to be. But again, a trooper out there just racking up laps. And you never know. We said plenty of laps. So, you know, if we have a big wreck, he takes out 15 of these cars or so, he could gain a lot of positions.
Many of these cars that we're watching right now have used their quick repair because of 2 big-time accidents that have happened. So, yeah, anything is still able to happen right now.
Yeah, and you can't count anybody out of this race at any point in this race, because, like you said, it's a lot of skill, it's a lot of luck, as Applegate is out front right now, but here comes the 19 of Matt Henry once again. This is what you want to see in pack racing, outside lane and the inside lane, both right there together, pushing each other. It really is a toss-up as to who is going to lead at the line every time these guys come by.
Sure is, and once again, another lap is being logged in, and I believe that one goes to Applegate, as Matt Henry losing a little ground on that inside lane. And, you know, it really comes down to who can push the best, who can stay in the line, and just pay attention to who's snaking around, which lane is, you know, formed up the best. These guys doing all they can to keep the car straight, but it's so hard to do when all you see is a back bumper and a spoiler, not to mention you're doing 190 miles an hour, inches off of each other.
Yeah, and it looks like now they're going to reverse the roles, and now Matt Henry's got the push from the 90 of Scott Mann. David Applegate's going to fall back to 3rd, almost 4th position. So they're kind of literally just swapping it back and forth as to who has the momentum.
They are. the changes are happening fast and the momentum is swaying back and forth, but this front group is formed up very nicely, doing a great job. They're pulling away from other cars. If you get a chance to look back through the field, everyone that's behind this group is not really formed up into a large group or has some damage, and so that's why they're losing ground.
Yeah, really, the 95 and the 31, those are probably the last ones there. If you look before of Daniel Purovich, he is back in 15th. You got to go to 16th place, and you see they are 8.9, now 9.199 seconds off the lead. So those two cars back there have lost the draft big time, and they are trying everything they can to catch back up.
That they are. Joseph Bissett in the 96 machine looking to the high side, trying to pass Mike Peterson in the 14. These guys, two-car duo here, just trying to work together. Looks like both cars have a little bit of damage. Nothing tragic, but they have managed to lose the lead group.
Yeah, definitely. As you saw the 96 go up there, I'm not sure if he was trying to pass him necessarily or get some fresh air. He should have plenty of fresh air. Those two have got to work together. There's no need to try to pass each other right now, as there's really no need to. They need to work together and try to catch this field. As here comes Applegate once again. Now is Henry out front. Again, literally about twice, 3 times a lap, these guys are trading spots with each other.
The momentum ebb and flow of the inside lane versus the outside lane. This isn't going to end until a flag comes out to tell them, hey, slow it down.
Yeah, they definitely do. And here comes again David Applegate. These two, it seems like every other lap they're leading, so they're staying right there together. 8 laps led, 9 laps led, and in that time it is going to be Henry to lead another one. So Matt Henry has led more laps. Here's a caution is going to come out once again, and I'm not sure who it's for this time. It's going to be the 77 of Frank Harris, I do believe.
Frank Harris is in the infield, spinning down through the bus stop on the backstretch. I'm going to sit here and rewind and let you guys know what I'm seeing. The 7 machine of Dana Rogers and the 77 of Frank Harris get together. Both of them, just one was coming up, one was going down, and spinning on the backstretch they go.
Yeah,
Dana Rogers able to keep going. Frank Harris having to situate himself before he can get straightened out and get going again.
Yeah, so that car definitely a product of Daytona, as it has a ton of damage. But again, we do apologize. For some reason, the new update here is not allowing our camera to rewind. We do have another copy, an older version that we're going to play with. We have some new stuff here at MaxSpeedTV we're working on, so we'll be revealing that. In this series here is almost contact there made. If it wasn't made, I believe you may have had some contact between David Applegate and Matt Henry. Matt Henry was slowed down, and David Applegate didn't know he was going that slow.
Matt Henry, if you get a picture of his left rear bumper, it is all sorts of caved in. And David Applegate, man, like you're saying, he may not have seen what was going on, but Applegate's right front is got some damage to it as well. Not what you want to have out of your lead cars.
No, and that was under caution that happened, so I'm not sure if he just didn't realize how fast the pace car was coming up, and that Matt Henry had checked up, but like you said, damage to both of those cars out front. So that's my pick, and his pick that could possibly win this. Both of them now with damage. I don't see it being too big. They could probably get in there and get that repaired with a fast repair if they want to use it, but you can see right there on the camera that is major damage to the back of that car.
It is, and you know, these guys, not a good time to pit as we're on 9 laps to go. What do you do here? I mean, even if you pit, you're going to start pretty far back, 18 cars on the lead lap. But if you don't pit, this damage is pretty significant. your aerodynamic flow through this track is going to be affected. They're going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah, it's going to be unfortunate for them. As we look here, we were racking up laps. It's 10 laps to go already.
The laps are winding down. We were getting some good green flag racing in, and now we are once again under yellow, but it's going to be a short little sprint now. The mindset really is going to be ramped up. The adrenaline's pumping. They're looking at that lap counter. They all know, hey, I got 10 laps to get this done, and the yellow is still out. So drivers have got to be careful here. Now's when everyone's going to be on big time attack. So don't leave an inch, because someone's going to take 2 feet out from under you.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see. The other one I want to keep an eye on right there, the 90, Scott Mann. With these two having damage up front, normally I would see them possibly getting a fast repair done. But it's going to be 9 to go here when they cross the line. That's 9 laps, and if the lights don't go off, it looks like we'll have a 7-lap shootout. So I don't see them going to pit road to get that repaired and lose all that track position. So we'll see if that plays a factor in there. Again, any damage is not good. The question is, will it be enough to hinder them?
That is the question. Will it be enough to hinder them? These guys aren't going to be both front runners. One's going to be on the inside lane, the other's going to be on the outside lane. So they might be able to hold off for a few laps, but if there is not significant damage, they should be able to maintain speed. But if they've got heavy damage in just the wrong spot where they're going to lose speed because of it, the rest of the pack will just chew them up.
Yeah, definitely. And not only are these cars, they require a lot of aero. This many laps, we're 9 to go right now, and the pace car has its lights still on. So it's going to be minimum 7 laps to go before we get the green flag. So not only are you going to need all that aero that you can get to get help from somebody to push you to the win, you've got some extremely aggressive drivers coming. Not that they're aggressive, going to wreck people, but this is the most aggressive point of the race. With under 10 to go, if you're going to get to the front, this is when you need to do it.
3rd, 4th, and 5th spot, Corey Walters, Gary Nichols, Thomas Green. These guys all are going to try and work together to get around these 2 damaged cars. But, you know, it's kind of like sharks smelling blood in the water. If I'm the 90 machine, I'm sensing blood. I'm going to be on heavy attack, heavy pressure on these guys, and doing all I can to get around them.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly what you do. And then again, the other one we haven't talked about, we have talked about a little bit, Corey Walters in the number 28. He is sitting on the outside. So this is my concern here, is if we look, they're gearing up here with 1 to go, so it's going to be 7 to go when they take the green. Look what you have up front. 2 damaged cars, 1 on the inside, 1 on the outside. So the question is, who can push better? The 28 and the 90. Can one of them push better with the 23 and the 8 helping them? Because it's not like you're going to have 2 cars that are damaged on the bottom and you're going to have all these cars be able to get by them easily on the outside. They're both taking up both lanes, inside and outside, at the start of the race. So if they can just stay where they're at, they may make them push those guys, and one of them still come away with the win.
It's very possible. But on the other side of things, I would not be surprised to see somebody try and force 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, to get around the 19 and the 25.
Yeah, definitely. And if I had to pick it, unfortunately, David Applegate, they both have damage, but the damage to the 19 is on the back. So I don't know if that would affect it too much, as he does have damage to the rear of the car, so that's going to affect his downforce, but so is the front. So it's going to be interesting, but the lights are off, so if you want to get us ready, we're just about ready to take the green.
Matt Henry in the 19 machine has control of this field. Pace car getting ready to peel off. There it goes. And green flag in the air again. Matt Henry going through the gears, pulling a little bit of gap on the 25 machine of Applegate. The 90 machine of Scott Mann now working his way up to the back bumper of the 19. Be looking for him to make a move here.
Yeah, definitely. And you see the 28 come down. Now they're going to leave. And, oh, there goes the 90 and the 23, the 21, the 8. Tons of cars getting involved here. And the 4 getting involved. The 31 squeaking by. The 7 gets involved. Well, that was, unfortunately, a huge wreck. And that's going to take a lot of guys out of this race. As you see Scott Mann in the 90 smoking. He can't even get that car to move right now. He's going to have to toe to pit road.
Yeah, very weird accident. Looked like a bit of net code. Unfortunately, the 28 getting some net code. The 28 of, Corey Walters got a little bit of a bump from the 8 of Gary Nichols, and that affected the net code of the 25 of David Applegate. Applegate then collected Scott Mann. So a bit of an iRacing glitch caused this whole thing right here.
Yeah, definitely, and again, takes out the David Applegate. So unfortunately, Intel does not normally crash, but unfortunately the Intel car did crash here tonight due to some contact there and a pretty sizable wreck there. That was a pretty big wreck involving a lot of cars. Is now with damage. That's going to put Matt Henry still back up front. It looks like we're going to have a 2-lap shootout when we get the green.
2-lap shootout, and it sounds like Matt Henry's coasting around, shutting his car down, trying to save some fuel. So I wonder if he's doing that just for fun or if he's got a fuel issue.
Yeah, he very well may be. I don't believe we actually have leaks of fuel in here. We may do it, though. This is a simulator, and look where he got hit. That's right back where his gas tank is. And obviously he doesn't have a fuel leak. Otherwise, he'd be out of fuel by now. But he very well may be trying to conserve fuel. He may be low on fuel.
He could be. So I hear him dumping the clutch.
The last time he was in was 27 laps ago. So it's possible. If he very well could be. We'll definitely, if we get him in the top 3, we'll see if he was running low on fuel here. Actually, if you want, if we got a lap here, we'll see if the lights are not out this time by. We might pull him to the booth if we can, if he's here. And
which one are we pulling to the booth?
Pulling the 19 of Matt Henry.
Matt Henry, I do not see him.
Let's see, I do not see him either, so we will maybe not even get a word in if he wins this race, so that is unfortunately.
Well, meanwhile, we've had a few more cars decide to pack up, go home. Daniel Provovich, Trenton Barrington are 2 more cars that have packed up early and headed out for next week's race.
Yeah, definitely a little earlier than they wanted to here tonight, I'm sure. But again, we've talked about it. It's racing. It does happen. But we still have, looks like about 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 drivers still on the track. So 21 out of the 30 drivers still on track. So a majority of the cars still here. So we've had a big one, but it wasn't the big one, I guess you could say, because these cars are still out here.
Yep, we got quite a few cars. Like I said earlier, you know, it's going to come down to a little bit of who's used a fast repair, who hasn't. Next flag is going to do it, though. Yeah,
his light's still on, so yeah, it is going to be 2-lap shootout. We had a 1-lap shootout in the truck race, 2 laps here in the Xfinity cars, so it's going to be interesting. Once we get the white flag, caution cannot come out. So this race will not end under caution once we get that white flag. So if we do, once that the white flag comes out, it is all or nothing. These guys are going to be duking it out. for everything they have trying to get a win here.
The 28 machine, part of that netcode scandal that was the restart that we just witnessed. He's currently sitting in second spot, and I'm looking over his car trying to get a good view of it, and he does have just a bit of damage on the left front, but it doesn't look as drastic as Matt Henry's damage. So once again, we got two cars on the front row with some damage, but they're not alone this time. As you look through the rest of the field, almost everybody has a little bit of damage in some way or another.
Yeah, we're looking on the right front right rear suspension, sorry, of the 28, and looking back at the 23 of Thomas Green, and that front of the car, it looks like it went through a demolition derby, not a Xfinity race. And looking behind him as well, even the car behind him of Carl Burke in the 53 looks like he's been through a war zone as well.
And it continues on further back. David Heath has damage, but you know, the surprise one here, the first car without damage, is Chris White. Chris had damage earlier, and he has taken that fast repair, and now his car's looking pretty good right now. So well, I say that, but he's still got a little bit of a ding in the back bumper, but you know, that's just product of some bump drafting. So he looks to be the first car without a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, it definitely is. Here, while we're under caution for just a minute here, I'll go on board here with Josh Cushman, another car with no damage. He did have damage earlier, so we heard his plan. He's going to try to keep it clean. So he has got to get up there and do it. He's got a clean car. The question is, can he get by these cars with damage, or are they going to hold him up? That could be interesting. We may see the 35 and the 95 working together to try to get past these damaged cars here tonight and see if they can't make something happen.
Your front runner 19, Matt Henry, gonna have to get the start of his life, time it perfectly. He doesn't want to get so far out ahead that someone is able to get a run on him and make a move. He wants to keep that 28 locked in tight to his outside, but not tight enough that the 28 can get a run on the outside. So tough position to be in for Matt Henry right now.
Yeah, definitely, as it looks like the lights are off on the pace truck. Our pace car, sorry about that. There it is. And it is happening. Green flag is out once again. And 2 laps to go right there at the line. Again, not a slow start for these guys, just normal for this type of racing, as these cars have to get up to speed as we're at 150 by the time they go, and we got a car going way down.
The 96 in trouble there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on.
Just one of the cars that had damage, I believe it was Carl Burke, unable to get going in a hurry. Carl Burke dropping back very fast. Lots of damage.
Yeah.
And with that, just the accordion effect, and that's what ended up sending the 96 to the inside wall.
Yeah, and look who is up front. Corey Walters in the 28. 1 lap to go. White flag fixing to come out. But look who's pushing him as the caution's going to come out. That will end the race.
Big pile up. Thomas Green in trouble here, end over end. Not really flipping, but just going airborne.
That car is totally damaged here as it's smoking bad. So his night, hopefully it's white flag is in the air. So this is the last lap. This race is over. Corey Walters is going to be walking away with the win. Jeff Stabnow, again, the guy who says he never wins. He didn't do it here tonight, but he finished second. And Matt Henry finishing third with a lot of damage to the back of that car. It looks like he may have picked up some more as well.
Yeah, that was a crazy finish. Unfortunate that we aren't able to watch the replay because cars just scattered everywhere. But Corey Walters doesn't care about any of that going on behind him, as he just sees the pace car and the checkered flags getting ready to drop for this Daytona race. He'll be our winner tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, we just have to finalize it here as they're going to be crossing by the line here in just a minute. And there it is. Checkered flags are waving. And your official race winner here tonight is going to be Corey Walters. So again, give us just a minute here, folks. We'll stay on Corey here to see if he's going to do any donuts. We'll be right back with your post-race show and your top 3 interviews. Alright, we are back here waiting for our winner to get here in the booth with us. It's a long trip from all the way there. He's still got to do some donuts first, so we're going to give him a chance to get here with us in the booth. But meanwhile, we are going to go through your unofficial race results. Again, barring any race control issues. But getting the win here tonight is Corey Walters. Second place, Jeff Stabnow. Third place, Matt Henry. Fourth place, Brian Barnes. Didn't talk about him a whole lot tonight, but he kind of snuck his way in there to 4th position. Rounding out your top 5 is Chris White. 6th place goes to Josh Cushman. 7th place, Gary Nichols. 8th place, David Applegate. 9th place, Dana Rogers. And rounding out your top 10, Kane Lasky. Again, hopefully we do pronounce that right.
Kevin Geiger is going to be 11th. 12th place, Carl Burke. Joseph Bishop, 13th. 14th of David Heath. 15th, Thomas Green. 16th, Mike Peterson. 17th, Frank Harris. Brandon Peters is going to be 18th. 19th spot, Scott Mann. 20th of John Ottenbacher.
Alright, 21st is going to be Daniel Porovich. 22nd, Case Heinkins. Hopefully we are pronouncing that one right as well. 23rd, Trent Alley. 24th, Donald Swafield. Again, Swafield. Hopefully we got that one right as well. 25th, Trenton Barrington. 26th, Mark Walls. Very disappointing finish. That is not where he wanted to be. I'm not sure why those are mixing up there. 26th or 27th should be Brad Cornell. 28th, Andy Vogt. 29th, Brad Carpenter. And 30th did not start here tonight. That was Scott Hutchington. Not sure what happened there, but he did not start the race tonight. But it is unfortunate. We'll see if we do have our 3rd place here, Matt Henry, yet. And I'm not seeing him here. So we will get on with the show. We can't hold it up. So with third place finish, it was Matt Henry. Unfortunately, he is not with us here. Finishing in 2nd place is Jeff Stabnow. So KR, if you want to talk to him, I will grab our leader.
Jeff Stabnow finishing 2nd place. You won in the Truck Series earlier this week, and now 2nd place here. For somebody who says you don't win a lot, you sure are in the front a lot.
Well, I appreciate maybe we just got a little bit of a knack for these super speedways. I don't know. Unfortunately, a lot of times I'm not finishing these things, so good to have this nice run.
So, speaking of not finishing this, we did see you get some damage early on, take a fast repair, get that car repaired, and then work your way up through the field. Give us a little bit of rundown of your race and the wreck that led you to the pits for fast repair.
Well, I'm not real sure what happened up in front of me. We saw him wrecking. We were actually hanging back a little bit because the lines were moving just a little bit more than we were comfortable with, quite a bit more, so we kind of figured one was coming. They did wreck, and even if you're hanging back, it's hard to miss that. I thought I had it avoided, but I just checked up and the guys in the back got into me, so pulled in and did the repair and on the clock and could still see quite a bit of damage, so came back around and burned that fast repair.
Now, how much of the damage do you think affects these cars? Because we saw Matt Henry get some damage, David Applegate, when they made contact checking up under the yellow. How much do you think you can get away with, and how much do you think is too much?
I think it really depends, and a lot of it has to do where you're running. If you find yourself without somebody behind you and you got a little aero damage, you can just fall like a rock. By the same token, if you don't have a clean car and you're out front, you're going to slow those guys down pushing. But, you find yourself in between two cars, you can run decent with more damage than you can anywhere else. So I had a fair amount of damage and didn't want to just ride around, so we went ahead and fixed it.
All right, well, congratulations on second place here. Up and down night for you, having to get that fast repair. Any sponsors, people you'd like to thank?
Oh, absolutely. Got to thank New Leader. They sponsor the car here. Highway Equipment Company sponsors the team, and they're also the series sponsor. So big shout out, big thanks to Highway Equipment Company, New Leader, Highway. Sanctuary Studios on board with us this year. They're sponsoring some races. They're sponsoring our truck series, so shout out to them. And then, as always, the race sponsor here this week, Wells Beard Co. Beard care products. Got a nice little store online. I'm using them. Recommend you go check them out. If you didn't see the back of the car, it's www.wellsbeardco.com.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jeff, for joining us up here for the interview, and congratulations on second place finish.
All right, thanks, Care.
All right, and I am here with our race winner, Corey Walters. You came away with the win. Not gonna lie, we didn't talk about you a whole lot there at the beginning. You kind of snuck in like some kind of ninja. Your car is black, so you kind of blended in a little bit with the asphalt, but you snuck in here and you stuck it in there at the last, and you got the win. So what does it feel like to be in victory lane for the first night here in the series?
Feels pretty good, man, to be honest. These guys are a bunch of great guys to run around, and I hope to stick with them all season.
Definitely a good run for you. We do look forward to seeing you here every week, as we'll be here every week broadcasting this and covering it from start to finish every night. Looks like you're probably gonna have the points lead. You didn't lead the most laps here. Actually, looking here, you didn't even lead in the top 5 amount of laps, but you led one, so that'll get you a bonus point. So that is good. Looks like there may have been a little damage there, so I don't see a clean point going to you. But I'm not too sure. There are too many people out there that had a clean car. But that is a product of Daytona. It's very hard to keep a clean car. But for the most part, it does look fairly in good shape. So is there a key to trying to keep your car without a whole lot of damage to it here at these super speedways?
Oh, absolutely, man. You got to keep that spoiler clean. For sure, and that splitter clean, otherwise you lose air where you're not supposed to lose air, and it just makes for a horrible day.
Yeah, definitely you don't want to do that. We saw a lot of good drivers out of this race way earlier than they wanted to be, I'm sure, but it does happen. So any sponsors or shout outs you want to give for your victory here tonight?
I'm sorry, I got stepped on. Hold on a second. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, just any sponsors or shout outs you want to give for that win here tonight?
No, I don't have any sponsors. I'd like to thank, Jeff Stabnow. I'd like to thank Waltz Beard Co. They put on a heck of a show, and it was a good night. I love plate track racing.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the win. And it looks like, unfortunately, we're not going to have time to get Matt Henry in here. He didn't know the TeamSpeak was the thing. We do have him. We do have that now, so we'll hopefully be able to talk to him next week. But he is not here. So, as always, we want to go through all the sponsors that make all of this possible. Quickly, before we sign off, it's about 12:30, so we're going on 1 o'clock. But I am wide awake right now after an exciting race. But all the sponsors that make this possible: SimSpeedShop.com, HRE Motorsports, Elite 7 Racing, Virtual2Reality.tv, Dirtco Media House, and Ohio IndyCar League on the MaxSpeedTV side of things. On the racing side of things, big shout out again to Highway for jumping on board, New Leader for jumping on board, and Sanctuary Studios. Again, they are all part, other than Sanctuary Studios, Highway and New Leader are divisions of Highway Equipment Company. They are the title sponsor for this series, the Northwest Xfinity Series, again presented by them. So on behalf of them, all the sponsors, as well as the Northwest Xfinity Series and MaxSpeedTV, we wish you all well, and we will see you again Monday night for another great race here, late night race on MaxSpeedTV. So again, be safe, and we'll see you next week.